walk around and go over the cells, over the plates, over the tubes, up and down, whatever. Go around the workbench with the tools or anything else you want. Cells. Whatever. If you want to get any of these, I'll get this one in too. First one I'll charge up the water and everything else in first, and this here will produce a gas. I'll show you in a minute. We'll blow it off for a few bubbles. I'll lift this out if you want. The brown sheet on the outside is just what's coming out of the water, you know what I told you?
Yeah.
That's all there is. This one here doesn't have it, but this one here in the bottom, that just brings negative totally square across. You have negative at the bottom, at the top, neutral in the centre, positive in the centre, two neutrals, two neutrals. Got that?
Yeah.
Gas, it only comes out here. Show you that on that one in a minute. Different configuration of plates. Negative, neutrals, negative, underneath water. Gas comes out here, which we'll see in a minute. Glass bottle. Bolt through the down to the bottom as a negative. Plates are held in. Neutrals. Positive to that wire connected brings a positive inside. Negative plugs up underneath. Positive clips to the outside one in there. And then we'll show an experiment with that in a minute. Let me go along. Stainless fire extinguisher, negative in the top, neutral plating on the inside, okay, tubes, negative travels down the centre right to the back. Explain about that soon. Positive hooks up either here, here, or if you want the best gas, hook it up to the furthest point, around here, or out there. You can release that and bring gas out the front. You leave it off, gas comes out here. Vacuum gauge or pressure gauge. Just plug that onto there. Turn on, this is a battery charger, or you can plug it up to a battery. Turn it on, you can read what you've got. Hook onto the front or here, on the front, open that, put a pump on, put a car on, vacuum, and it shows your vacuum reading on the gauge as well. What vacuum you can pull there in. This little cell here, it has neutral plates on the inside. No positive charge to it whatsoever. Negative through the bottom. This just bolts and separates it from there. This just goes into a car, and your car doesn't put any charge, positive or anything else, to the outside of that. Negative connected to the body, and that's all there is. As anything going through it, as a field, hook on a there. This goes into there, that screws onto there, that goes through the firewall. That's aluminium. You can use copper, but if you use copper, you've got to put a positive wire from the car to the furthest point to get the gas out, what we want, and it's not hydrogen or oxygen. Take it to the outside. On aluminium doesn't need a charge putting onto it. It stores it in the metal, brings it out to the into your motor. You've got to have a separate piece of rubber on the end here to stop. This here is positive, even though though it's not connected, but the gas inside, the water inside and everything else is positive. So this is a positive connection. You can't connect it to motor, you've got to put a piece of rubber in, or else you get a dead short, the cell don't go. You've got to pull it all apart, wash it all out, recharge water up, put it back in, restart. And it gives you a problem doing it. So that's how that works.
I'm recording.
This bottle here has neutral plates. It doesn't have any caustic or salts or anything else in it. It's plain water straight out of a creek off a hill. It has the neutral plates. It has positive outside, negative underneath, as we see. I now turn on a battery charger, and you'll see.
Hallelujah.
Now look down the side. Work your way over the side. You'll see that's hydrogen going downwards. It won't break the surface. You see this vapour coming off the top? That's possibly what's running the cars. Goes down, fills up. It's plain water. Doesn't brown, doesn't dirty. Always got this vapour. Down below here, if you look carefully, if you can pick it up, something is being drawn down from halfway. From here, it's going up. From there up. From there, it's going. Something else is being drawn down and taken underneath. Can you see clearly? Maybe. Yeah. I've got a coming off the surface. All that in there is hydrogen. Look at the top. Hydrogen won't break the surface. I'll turn it off and just keep your thing going there, and you'll see what happens. Power's turned off.
Clears it up.
If you lower your water, put it on tape, if you lower your water to level with the plates or below it, you will not get any of that stuff down the sides. It'll just produce bubbles out of each plate. If you want to see that, I can tip that top off and show you. You won't get any down the sides. If you want to see, I'll just, you'll be able to see this. When I come back down, you'll still see it producing. Production, it's not what's coming back up. That will go off the plate if you can see through there. That produces gas for maybe an hour or two after. That's been on only for half a minute. You charge that water up and charge those plates up. You have continuous charge coming off that water as electricity or bubbling and charge. None of those bubbles are breaking the surface or sticking on the surface. They are gone. Now, what do you want to don't make a fibber out of me? We go back up again. We have got our water below the plates. Put our same on again. We turn on. You want to come to the top now, you will see there's nothing happening down the sides, but look what's happening in here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting bubbles there.
Yeah.
Each one of those in turn, I'll put a little bit more water in, you'll see. This is just plain water in the charge. It's got a bit of gunk in this one, but that's fine. You just come up, see? When I go down the side, you'll see it still hasn't gone over the sides. I will bring the water up to clear the top. Now, as soon as the water goes over the top, as soon as the water goes over the top, you'll see something breaking, going down. Then it comes back up. That is coming up. You can see it clearly now. This is production very well. From here down, it's drawing something down under. Now you want to look on the top, you'll see the bubbles. They've only come since we've transferred it over. Keep the video going and hang on to your eardrums.
Hallelujah.
And the aluminium, which was in alum, and all the detergents they put in the water to clean it up is still in this one. Sorry, wrong way. That one goes there. That just clips the outside as a positive, the neutrals as I showed you before. This here just hooks up to negative. Oh, I've got to stop that from touching. Now, that's just clipped onto the negative cone. I'll lift it out to show you again, just to be on the safe side. See, no connection. Same thing again. That just goes into the negative. So clip it on. You want to look in there, you'll see something. See all the vapour?
Reckon.
Blowing pretty strong here too, so it's blowing away the vapour.
Yeah. If you were to sniff that vapour, what just nice oxygen or hydrogen, or what would it be?
What we're doing now,
At least it's not poisonous yet.
No, it's not poisonous. If you look at the size, what we're doing is we are stretching the water out. The water has come up about that far, so it will keep coming up. And it'll lift and lift, and then it'll start forming large bubbles. And those large bubbles, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the power off the battery in a second. And those bubbles we're going to light with the power turned totally off. Just want to show you that these are collecting into a larger stuff. For that? See them? And this here is nice, fine, beautiful, clean white. A bit of this here is from the water. I've had some bad water lately. So, now, I'll turn the power off. I've got a match. We'll leave it for a minute. You're still there?
It's still there.
It's just a match. You right?
Whoa. What happened to the roof?
Yep. Now the water has dropped right back down again.
Yeah.
We stretch the water up, it lifts. Totally lifts up, stands up. That's that one. That water in there is charged. If you can get that white stuff off the top, now you'll be able to see that it'll still produce for ages. That has not been charged either. Nothing's been on this morning. This fellow here should be able to tell you. So, now, water, but we've got our bubbles. Each one of them is relightable. And if you can see across, which is not, water's not deep enough, you can see across, it'll still be producing gas off those neutral plates. I don't know whether you can pick it up. It's only fine, but now that's pushing 14.5 pounds per square inch of atmospheric pressure to get any of those bubbles off or produce anything. All we do is hook a vacuum to it, you remove the 14.5 pounds per square inch, and then you put out not hydrogen or oxygen, you put out whatever, and that's what runs cars. And it comes off like I don't know what. Okay? This is a keg for charging the water. I don't use this for anything except for charging. Positive outside, negative, top and bottom, positive in the inside, centre, outside is charged. You want to try it, this is plain water, which is in here, which comes straight from the creek. I just want to come up an inch further so you can see the bubbles. Now, we'll turn the power on, and instantly the water starts to rotate. Rotation. Waits a minute, builds a charge, no bubbles yet. As soon as it's charged, now our bubbles come from nowhere, no white stuff, no clearing, beautiful bubbles stick on the surface. It's plain fresh water, straight out of the tap. That's how long it's been on and charged. The first few bubbles.
Ooh.
That's with it on. Now we'll leave it go for a few minutes because they're not the bubbles what I want to show you. What they've done is went from the centre straight out to the outside. We're going to get a bit of muck in this because the water is polluted up here. The better the water, the fresher and cleaner the water, the better this is. This is charging the water, and if you're talking about sewage or dirty water or pollutants in water, this is what it does to it. It totally cleans your water, pulls them off, separates it. You can put it, it's not underneath, it is only on the surface, brings it to the surface. You can get a dipper bucket, strain it all off, take it off, throw it away, you've got clean, beautiful water.
Oh, that's really yucky stuff, isn't it?
Now, you turn the power off, power is off, there's still production going very well off this. This is charged well. No charge on. Whoops, flame went out. Doesn't matter, there's no charge on. Nah, come here, that's the door behind you. Louder.
Getting better. Getting the bottom, isn't it?
That water is cold. They will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they come up, I've had them that big.
Yeah.
You
that's a
can
bubble
leave them
now.
all day, as
Yeah.
long as they don't burst. They won't burst, they'll sit there all day.
Yeah.
That gives you a surface tension. That's why they're sitting there, surface tension. Everything else you'll do, you can take this if you want, everything else you do, everything what comes off there will break the surface and it's gone, there's no bubbling, there's no nothing, and nothing stays there. It's charged water. This is the only time, and any time else, that you'll get bubbling. Waits a minute. Now water's charging up now. Comes through. The very first bubbles are lightable and blow your head off. You charge that water, leave it going for a short period of time and get a good charge into the water. You can see what's coming off. They're clear. There is totally nothing
Beautiful
in
stuff.
that water. The more you leave it to charge, the better it gets. Those bubbles, they will stay there all day, all tomorrow. You come out tomorrow, you hit the any one of those bubbles, you hit them with a match, and do you notice it's getting louder?
Sure is.
Which are ears doing? Because mine are absolutely ringing like shit because they're totally inflated. And if you got it on camera, there was no flame, no orange flame, no
That's
nothing.
right.
Totally. Now, the bubbles come after the flash. It's still there. No charge on now. And it's still charging.
Yeah,
It's still going.
Still bringing bubbles up, yeah.
I haven't charged that. It's getting louder and louder. You want me to leave that on for 10-15 minutes? You will not stand in here because every one of these sheets of tin on this roof and everything will be shaking with the sound. You'll have to hold your eardrums and it'll go through your hand. I've done it. Your
ears.
body will feel a thump, not against it. Your body will feel a thump.
Yeah.
The ground down here will thump,
Shake. Yeah.
shake. That is plain, straight, nothing in it. You want me to drink it? If you want to try it, straight finger in, feel the slip. There is no caustic. Just, please, if this is for you, I'm not guaranteeing that every car will run straight away off this gas. The little Escort took a day and a half. That's a cast iron motor. It had to put positive gas into the manifold and into the motor, and it totally changed it. It took a week after we took the manifold and carby off. It took a week before I could change the timing back and get it to run smooth again on air and petrol. A week after to get it back out of the metal. Now, you use this, hook this up. I know it runs on the Rover, the Leylands, the Escort, a Holden motor, a Falcon motor, a forklift, gas forklift, many others. Can't think of all now. But some cars with a negative charge takes a certain time for these not hydrogen or oxygen, these ions or these positives to get in, pollute the metal, change it from negative to positive, then it runs. This car here now, we'll show you later, it will run straight off because the pollutants are still in the motor, they're in the manifold, they're in the carburetor. So I'll show that later anyway. So, and that gas there, you saw, has no colour. It is, if your eardrums can pick it up there, totally implosive. Pulls your eardrums very loudly, doesn't it?
It sure does.
No flame, no nothing, and it is not hydrogen, that stuff. There is nothing in the water. I've drinking it, he's tested it, there's no slipperies, there's no nothing. And all these two, exactly the same. If you put caustic or anything else into those waters within that period of time, any of these will be red hot. With the charge and the plate and the coming off. They'll all turn hot. They stay cold. Water in about there. And this is gas reserve, and this is a welder, and this is a cutter, and this is also for running cars. It's been run, this one's run a car, that one included, the escort included. I've now filled it full of fresh water what Paul has brought down, straight, he knows what it is, right to the brim and top. I'll now take the charge, I'll put it on, positive outside, negative hose that goes inside like I described before. I'll turn the power on. I want you to get close here because you will see with charging, water will lift, expand out. It's now on. Clean white bubbles. Have a look at the tension on this. It's standing up 1/4 of an inch or more, the water above the surface. Just for fun, we got these bubbles will trickle over down here. They're on there. You see them? This is plain straight water. Oops, that's a plain straight dead match. You watching? This is power on. I don't have power on. I'll let some go down and build up. This is dead straight water. I'll just get a little bit of charge into the water.
Bloody hell.
You want to leave them sit on there, they build up. They'll stay on there like they do on the keg. On there they stay on. That is not off the cell, that is the bubbles they charge. The water running over is charged. Hit it again if you're right. It's charging, you see? It's getting pretty good, isn't it?
Is this about as good as your balloon was last? There we are.
We turn the power off. The bubbles are gone. You want to have a look in? Bubbles are gone. Water's shrunk back down again. You okay? See, they're collecting in big blobs in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going to light it.
Confused.
You right? No power on. No power on. That's that one. I'd like to get some onto the surface down here. This is plain straight out water. That now, the water is down to there, you've just looked.
Yeah.
The water is now stretching, it's coming up. It's coming up. And we'll just wait. You'll see the bubbles in here if you want. If we're hopefully, it's sitting there now. And in a few seconds, it should pour over the top. Come on. It's got to build up what I just set off in there. Here it comes. Have a look at the action if you like, if you want to come in closer.
Sure, I mean, you must punch me like that.
If you're wondering, this is dead plain water, and pull from there to there is plates. Turn around, look at the charger. We're pulling less than 20 amps. If I charge this up and leave it overnight, we will pull 2 or 4 amps only, and do better than that. Now, I'll add a little bit more so you know. So all that plain water. Let's see. Let them gurgle over the side. We'll try and get some down here to stay on there. Timber that. I'll show you something else with this again in a few minutes, but we'll get a bubble. That one had a yellow flame. Why it had a yellow flame is it's on paint.
Oh, right, yeah, so it picked up.
Very loud.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
On neutral plates.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is, ordinary electricity spirals and goes right to the bottom and gurgles up.
Mm-hmm.
Comes up with the bubbles. On neutral plates, the current goes in and does a total right-hand bend in every direction of these.